Integrating technology into teacher evaluations. How do we rate Texas teachers? So, a little bit of housekeeping. My name is Angie Martinez, and I currently work at Monterey High School. Our agenda for today is to talk about the I-CAN statement, or objective for the lesson, talk about evaluation systems, and then have a closer activity. So the two I-CAN statements for today are I can identify how Texas teachers are evaluated, and I can identify two new types of evaluation systems and how technology affects evaluation systems. How are teachers evaluated? According to TEA in 2010 and 2011, 86% of our teachers used PDOS as their evaluation method. The other 14% use some other sort of evaluation method like eye observation, TAP, FTPS, or some other school district created appraisal system. So TEA started a pilot program. It started this current school year, 2013 to 2014. There are 100 schools participating that are all Title I, and they have the opportunity to choose between two different models, either the Teacher Advancement Program, or TAP, or the Framework for Teaching Proficiency System, FTPS. What TEA can do in the future is either choose one of these two methods to become the appraisal system for Texas, or they can choose to use components from each one to recreate and redevelop PDOS. A little bit about the Teacher Advancement Program, or TAP. Teachers are filmed on a regular basis. Each teacher goes through the process of filming a pre-conference, the lesson, and then a post-conference. They're evaluated by themselves as well as an administrator, and they reflect upon the lesson. So in that post-conference, the teacher and the evaluator are going to reflect on what were the strengths of the lesson, what were the weaknesses, and how it could have been better. Teachers are going to rate themselves from 1 being the lowest to 5 being the highest on 4 different domains with 26 components. The Framework for Teaching Proficiency System, or FTPS, is very similar. Teachers are also going to be filmed, and each teacher is going to be rated from a level 1 to a level 4, 1 being unsatisfactory and 4 being distinguished. There are 4 domains with 22 components. Teachers are going to be rating themselves as well as their administrators, and then the teacher and the administrator will get together and discuss the lesson and reflect. So let's review our I-CAN statement so far. I can identify how Texas teachers are evaluated, and I can identify two new types of evaluation systems and how technology affects evaluation systems. So the 4 domains of FTPS, we have planning and preparation, the classroom environment, instruction, and professional responsibilities. Under planning and preparation, you're going to see indicators such as knowledge of content, assessments, and setting objectives. For the classroom environment, some of the indicators are creating a learning environment, having a culture of respect and rapport. For instruction, some of the indicators are questioning techniques, engaging and communicating with students. And then for professional responsibilities, we have reflecting on teachers, maintaining records, and growing professionally. The 4 domains of TAP are instruction, learning environment, designing and planning instruction, and responsibilities. Under instruction, we have standards and objectives, lesson structure and pacing, academic feedback, and questioning are some of those indicators. For the learning environment, we have managing student behavior and creating a respectful culture. For designing and planning instruction, we have instructional plans and assessment of some of those indicators. For responsibilities, we have staff development, growing professionally, and reflecting on teaching. So as you can see, some of those indicators for the TAP rubric and for the FTPS are very similar. So what research says is that this study investigated the effects of teacher evaluation on the quality of instruction and found that the very act of going through a year-long evaluation process in Cincinnati strengthens teacher performance, and that not only does a teacher's effectiveness increase in the year in which they are evaluated, but the effects of going through the evaluation cycle are even larger in years after the evaluation. So we're going to see some gains in teacher effectiveness in that first year, and then even more growth in the years to come. Studies also show that there are bigger differences in teaching quality within schools than there are between schools. This means that in the same school, a child taught by a less effective teacher can receive an education of vastly different quality than a student just down the hall who is taught by a more effective teacher. We know that highly effective teachers are going to have a positive effect on student performance. And what they found was that the way evaluations are currently conducted don't provide the teacher who is struggling with a roadmap to improve. So both of these frameworks are going to help identify weaknesses in teaching and help build up those so that they can become strengths. The TAP evaluation scores are not all skewed at the top of the scale as in a typical district evaluation system, but reveal a spectrum of teacher performance that better matches what we know about the real-world distribution of teacher effectiveness. So you can have teachers who have been teaching for a very long time who are rating themselves in the middle of the road. They're not going to receive the highest rating just because of how long they've been teaching. And last, teachers with high value-added performance tend to be those who demonstrate a high level of instructional quality. So how is technology integrated in all this? Teachers film their classroom environment, and the film is uploaded to a website that can be shared between teachers, administrators, or other personnel. Now, we're not used to having teachers film their classrooms, but we are used to having an administrator come in. One of the benefits of having this happen is that the teacher and the administrator, or whoever is doing the evaluation, can go back and can re-watch the lesson multiple times. They might have missed something the first time around, so they can always go back and watch the video again. It's going to be shared between the parties, and then technology used in the classroom activities can be used as a basis for evidence on those indicators. Ratings are going to be shared and compared between parties. So we're looking for teachers and evaluators to rate themselves or the teaching of the lesson very similarly. If you have a teacher who rates himself at a level 4 and your evaluator rates it at a level 1, there's going to be a little bit of discrepancy, and that's something that could be talked about in that post-conference and reflective discussion. So in closing, we have our 2 I CAN statements. I can identify how Texas teachers are evaluated, and I can identify 2 new types of evaluation systems and how technology affects evaluation systems. So the last thing that I challenge you to do is a 3-2-1 activity. Write down 3 different types of evaluation systems that are currently used in Texas. Write down 2 feelings that you may have by filming and watching your evaluation. How would you feel having a video camera in your classroom as opposed to an administrator coming in and watching? And then write down 1 question that you might have and use the internet to see if you can come up with some information to help you answer that question. I hope all of this was informative. Thanks.